All right, Town of Cedar Point Planning Board meeting on Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Call to order and roll call. TJ Williams.
Here.
Michael Castellano.
Here.
Bill Davis.
Here.
And Joe Morello and Brad Smith are absent this evening. One item of business, a text amendment, a request for an amendment to the UDO to allow neighborhood signs in a B3 zoning district. Go ahead, David.
All right, you all received in your packet a copy of the application itself. He provided his reasoning for it. Basically, what's going on, I'll just kind of summarize it for you, is Bridgepoint Townhomes is located in a B3 zoning district. And I would assume that at the point in time when the chart of sign allowances was drafted, there wasn't much consideration of residential being allowed within the B3 zone. Well, if you'll recall, a couple years ago, we did make amendments to the ordinances that then allowed townhouses within a B3 zone, but no thought was given to whether or not to allow signage for such use. And so what they're asking for is to allow neighborhood signage, tract ID sign is what it's identified as, to be within the B3 zone. We already allow it in basically every other zone except for the industrial warehouse and light industrial warehouse. So that's what they're asking for. The language dealing with tract identification signs is listed here. It's generally a smaller sign. Gives you all the dimensions. We could, this was a question that was raised, we could permit one sign under our ordinances as a low profile sign. You can see that low profile signs are allowed within a B3 district. However, under this particular provision, it allows two signs. You have one per street frontage. And if you have a site with more than 400 feet of street frontage, you can have a second one. And so they're actually looking to put in two signs on this property in two separate locations. Where if you're coming in behind Bear Island Recovery, right there, a sign right there as you're behind Bear Island Recovery. There's a couple of parking places over there specifically designated for them. Or if you're coming in behind Go Gas, right there at the intersection of Bridgepoint Circle and Bridgeview Circle. Put a sign right there. So that's really their main impetus in making this request. But keep in mind, you know, when you look at this sort of thing, you want it to be applied anywhere where you would have a B3 zone. I think it's just an unfortunate situation where it wasn't something that was even considered when we made the changes on the townhouses.
What does a low profile sign look like?
They could actually do a low profile or medium profile, but so there's a low profile sign, not more than 3.5 feet. Actually, theirs would be a medium profile because he's wanting to do it, I think about 5 feet in height. But there you go. You can do a medium with either a pedestal or on a stand.
So ours is what, medium, Crystal Shores. Maybe
Yours would be a neighborhood sign.
Yeah, so how would that compare to like a medium? Yeah,
We don't. I mean, generally, when you have a sign designed for a specific purpose, that's what you would classify it under. So if you're putting a sign out for a neighborhood, then we would consider a neighborhood or tract ID sign. I mean, that's where we're going to go.
okay. Okay.
So to be clear, the request is to permit tract ID sign. There's not anything that's specifically called a neighborhood sign.
Correct.
Okay. And under the definition of tract ID sign, you just scroll down just a little more here. It says it's a sign for residential or commercial development. So if it were permitted by right in a B three, any commercial development could then say, we want a tract ID sign and we want 2 of them.
If they have
If they
more
have
than
the-
400 feet
If
of
they have the frontage,
frontage.
up to 6 feet tall.
Okay, can you do an overhead view too, just to point out the spots, David? When I visually, back to my
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah, you're just looking here. Okay, yeah, that helps me find it.
Here's the subdivision, all the townhouses.
Yep, so you're counting at more than 400 because going from.
It's actually on 2
Bear-
different roads, which they could put them on. It
Mm,
says here as well. Number of signs per street frontage.
Okay, all right, so they'll have 2 streets, okay,
So they got 2 streets. I mean,
Alright.
that's the other way to look at this one, but
all right,
they're wanting to put one right here.
and that's their property?
Yep,
Okay.
there's the parking spaces right here. In fact, he submitted, let me just pull up his. He had proposed the sign, for a sign permit application, which we had to deny, of course, when Alicia got looking at it. Because the ordinance doesn't currently allow it. There you go.
Okay. And that's that, the one where your point, your crosshairs is at, that's not on where there could potentially be a road that would go to Megan's Bay.
No, it would be south of that road.
Okay, okay, and then that second X, when you go back to GIS, who owns that long driveway either side of it? So would Bridgeview, where's their neighborhood sign at?
It's right here in this area. There's part of their HOA,
So Bridgeview,
Bridge Point.
right, that's Bridge Point, where's Bridgeview's sign? Okay, so,
It's down here on their gate.
okay, so
on the
that
wall.
whole driveway is owned by Bridge Point, either side?
Yes, it's an access easement,
Okay,
but it's all owned.
yep, on either side.
Yep.
Okay,
See that even the road itself is owned by Bridge Point Townhomes Owners Association.
okay.
How many feet of frontage do they actually have? I mean, could they do 3 signs? Do they have enough to do 3 if they want?
They're probably good, they're not
60,
asking to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and I was like, why? But I mean, I don't have a problem, I was like,
Yeah.
why do it?
I mean,
they
normally,
could stay in their property,
Maybe.
so they could put a third like on
They-
24 or something.
they jumped the gun a little bit on
24
this.
would be a problem.
They jumped the gun a little bit on this because they went ahead and had the signs made, not realizing that it was gonna be an issue.
Mm,
Here's what we're talking about.
no. So there's not even cement around it?
It's like
right?
sandblasted.
Yeah.
That they're small signs, just so that when you get there, you know that you're at their neighborhood.
Okay, who's the majority owner in there? Is it a private company? Do you know?
There is no, I mean, at this point, well, I would say, not the developer, the builder probably owns the most in there, because they have, I think, 4 left to sell. 4 units, but the developer of it developed it and sold the lots to the builder who's building the units, and then turning around and reselling the units.
Okay.
And he's living in this unit right here, the developer. For the time being.
Seems reasonable to me. And you know, in the absence of more than 400 feet of frontage, any B3 is only gonna be allowed 1 sign anyways.
Yeah, so you
And-
can't have a tract ID sign plus a low profile plus a medium profile.
Okay,
It's,
it's 1,
you have one.
okay.
Now, if you have a development, right, if you have a large development,
Mhm.
you can either do the tall sign like they have down here at the intersection of Old 58 for the development. Or you can do a tract ID sign in that instance. So if they want to put it on the ground, they could, or they actually can put it a lot higher than all of our other signs. But you can't do both.
Can't mix and match.
Can't mix and match, no.
Good.
Can we go back to the information on the small sign for a second?
Yeah.
Just want to look at something.
Under the UDO,
Yeah, that type of information on the small sign.
low profile.
Low profile, sorry. Right, go back down. Height, because that says up to 5 feet,
Mhm.
and since they're already made, looking at them, it's like, to me, it's like. Can they just put that in less than
So-
5
But they're
feet?
limited
So
to one.
here's,
They're limited to one, okay.
that's kind of the impetus under this one. He applied for it for the two because he thought he would qualify for the neighborhood signs.
That's
And
fine.
then we found out it was in the B3 where it's not currently permitted.
Sure, I just, when we were
Yeah.
looking at the pictures, and then when I saw that, I'm like, well, the artistry, that looks more like just a small sign and like.
Yeah.
That's already permitted, you only get one, got it. Okay, that was the only question I had.
Any difference, and that was 10 feet setback, what's the track sign? 10 feet setback.
Yeah,
There's really
we
not
generally,
much- There's not much difference.
I mean, my concern was that it's not in the road, potential road between your neighborhood and.
Yeah, that
Bridgepoint.
pavement is already there, so.
pavements there, little 2 or 3 parking spaces are
Yeah.
already there. It wouldn't be.
I just don't gotta laugh at it with, they usually to find us with the signs, like, right. Okay,
Well,
Yeah,
there's-
I don't think it would be hard to identify them as the townhouses that you're.
right,
But-
I go get it, okay,
Huh?
and go get it,
I said, bless you.
yeah, but that was it, that was the thing.
Yeah.
I just laughed.
The benefit of the video, there is no public here today, and the applicant is not present.
I told him I didn't think there was a point in being here.
So we just need a motion.
We'll make a motion to approve the text amendment TA 2025-01 amendment to the UDO to allow neighborhood signs in a B3 zoning district.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Recommend approval.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Moving on, there's no public comments, and there's no public. Comments from the board member.
I won't be here next month, I'll
Okay.
be with my grandkids in Georgia, somewhere in the mountains in Bella, Georgia. It's just Germans.
Just, everybody here, just, be safe and, upcoming summer season with tourists and busy roads and look forward to next month.
Don't go to Moorhead. They're doing the construction where they're making those, the divide lanes coming out of,
Roadborne Road.
yeah. It was madness today because I had to take something and come back and backed up past way about 2 miles. And everybody tries to get in the right lane first, so we just zoomed down the left lane and got in. They're back, I don't know, hopefully they'll finish. But they made those.
They're
turns.
getting pretty close.
And I have a non-related question, but one of interest for the board after we convene here and turn off the recording. I have a question.
Is it town business?
Camera? Is this not really town?
I mean, as it relates to the town?
I was just wondering, any update on Bridgeview camera?
Oh, yeah, I can address that. I haven't heard anything recently on any movement in any direction.
Okay.
As far as the,
The extended.
Potential for
dock.
phase 2 development.
No, well, no, the
No.
dock.
Oh, the dock.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything different on that either.
Okay.
You got that thing. I talked to people over there.
That's all I have.
Before we adjourn then, any future issues to discuss that you wanted Since they cut us off earlier.
I would just say, be prepared to do some work by the end of the year with the state legislature changing on a lot of things, trying to.
Did it pass or not? It hasn't passed yet.
Well, there's a lot of things out there pending. Nothing has passed, that I know that will be affecting us right away, but there's a lot of things that, they're looking to do. Some of them, they've reduced the impact to where it would not impact us, just larger cities, thankfully. Others would still impact us, such as, removing any requirements for any parking spaces whatsoever. So we, the town, cannot regulate the number of parking spaces or the size of parking spaces for any use whatsoever.
That's interesting. Where would you park? Just straight up on streets? People's
Leave it up to the
yards,
developer
garages?
on providing that.
So it sounds like somebody, special interest groups, developers are donating money to certain people to pass forward legislation. Okay.
Possibly.
And normal.
Should you share with him what is near and dear to Michael's heart with the sidewalk one? About the sidewalks that they're proposing,
Oh, that you can't require somebody to install sidewalks unless it already connects to an existing sidewalk. Or the town has plans to install connecting sidewalk within 2 years of the date of the approval.
Right, so you're right. So sidewalks on Old Highway 58. The other thing that's near and dear to my heart was the green areas within developed neighborhoods where we then updated the town ordinances to say on the, not the tax assessed value, but on the
So that one-
sale values, because that was another thing that bothered me, is that the developers are not setting aside enough. And in fact, I would even say Marsh Harbor had an area they set aside as a park, and now there's a house on that area on the end of a road that's now on a. Yeah, so the developer got away with something there, so I just find that just of interest. Yeah, that's in your neighborhood, but anyhow,
Not me.
that's not your house. I know whose house that is.
Yeah, the state actually, not too long ago, has already changed that issue to where it now has to go by tax value as opposed to appraised value.
So no longer is it, so it's back to appraised value? So
Yeah.
it's a state level, not a,
Yep.
so
state has
we
now
passed it to,
mandated,
so we passed it to appraised.
and they changed it. So that's one change we'll have to be making.
Okay,
I mean, until then, we're just preempted and we just have to follow the
so
state
what do you
law.
do with a developer who says, I set it aside, they don't, and it's not developed, the neighborhood gets built out and then they put a house on it? What does the town do to that retroactively to that developer?
They can't do that. They can't do that without getting a change in their plans, because the plans have to be recorded. So at some point, there had to have been a change in the plans. If you're talking about the one in Marsh Harbor, that was changed. Those
Oh.
plans were amended to allow a house down there.
I have nothing else on record.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, any opposed?
All right.
All in favor?
I can see where you would be.
So, is it off?